What's up, trainers? Welcome back to another Pokemon TCG video. Today we're going to be doing a deck breakdown of the Players Cup 2 Champion deck made by Zack Lesage. It's the Pikachu and Zekrom GX deck, a more recent version of the deck that features Mewtwo and Mew and several copies of Bolton V and Boss's Orders. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this amazing deck. Alright, so starting it off with the Pokemon here, you can take a look at the deck overall. Actually, only 3 rows right here, so not a ton of variety in the cards. These are all pretty stock standard cards, but they make for a great combination when you put them in this deck. So starting off with the Pokemon, let's look at our main attraction here, which rather than Pikachu and Zekrom GX, is actually going to be this Mewtwo and Mew. It's actually kind of the star of the deck. It has 270 HP with this Perfection ability. It says this Pokemon can use the attacks of any Pokemon GX or Pokemon EX on your bench or in your discard pile. So the reason that Mewtwo and Mew is in this Pikachu and Zekrom deck, and as well as lots of other Lightning type decks, is because if you look at these Lightning Pokemon, they have weakness to Fighting types, and Urshifu VMAX is very popular in the format right now, and has the opportunity to one-shot Pikachu and Zekrom GX and some of its friends because they have that weakness. So if you include Mewtwo and Mew, you have the Psychic type right here, so you have the type advantage over Urshifu, so that's why Mewtwo Mew is in here, so it's an option if you're running against a fighting deck. So you've got 2 copies of Mewtwo and Mew, then you have 2 copies of Pikachu and Zekrom GX. 240 HP, lightning type's got these 2 great attacks. Full Blitz is a great attack to dish out some damage and get you set up. For 3 lightning energy, get to do 150, insert your deck for up to 3 lightning energy cards and attach them to one of your Pokemon. 3 is kind of the magic number for this deck, it seems like. A lot of the attacks on the Pokemon in this deck take 3 lightning energy, so Full Blitz is the perfect amount to get your Pokemon set up. And then you have Tag Bolt GX for 200. It does 200 if you have these 3 lightning energy attached. If you have 3 more, it also does 170 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So if you start doing a little bit of chip damage on one of your Pokemon, you can finish it off with Tag Bolt right here. So that's a great way to end the game. I know when I first started playing Pikachu and Zekrom, that was the way I won a lot of games, just by taking knockouts on 2 Pokemon in one turn using Tag Bolt. The next Pokemon GX you'll have is a Raichu and a Alolan Raichu, just 1 copy of these guys, 260 HP, this is one of my favorite cards, just a really cool one. Tandem Shock does 80 damage, plus 80 and paralysis if this Pokemon was on the bench and became your active Pokemon this turn. So one of the advantages of this is that you could get this off of Raichu and Raichu, or Mewtwo and Mew GX because it can't copy this attack. And then you have Lightning Ride, that says switches Pokemon from your bench Pokemon. If you have at least 2 extra Lightning Energy, it does 250 instead of 150. And then we have 1 copy of Tapu Koko in here with Dance of the Ancients. Pretty critical for any lightning deck to get set up. Allows you to attach some of that lightning energy from your discard pile to your Pokemon, and allow you to get the potential to potentially do a turn 1 Full Blitz with Pikachu and Zekrom. So that could be pretty huge if you can pull that off. Then we've got 2 copies of Bolton V, a little on the lower side of the Bolton V copies that we've seen before. Recently in a lot of decks you've seen like 4 copies sometimes, but I think 2 is a good way to go because as you can see only 200 HP, which makes it an easy target for a lot of cards out there. Obviously Zashi and V can easily one-shot this guy while it can't with some of the other cards in this deck, so there are some risks in putting Bolton V in your deck, but it has this Electrify, another great attack to get set up. And a Volt Storm does 10 damage plus 30, so it may not do too much early on, but if you can use this in the late game, it dishes out a ton of damage. We've got 1 copy of Vikavolt V, just a support Pokemon if you need to slow down the opponent a little bit. Paralyzing Bolt, 50 damage during your opponent's next turn. They can't play any item cards from their hand, and then you're not really going to see any play from Super Zap Cannon. Alright, next we have 2 copies of the Dene GX. So Data Change, obviously everybody's familiar with this card. Discard your hand, draw 6, easily done. And since it is this Pokemon GX of Lightning type, this Tinkly Return can be copied by Mewtwo and Mew, and I have used that several times in my games with this deck. So Tinkly Return definitely something to watch out for. 1 copy of Eldegoss V, so this can grab a supporter card from the discard pile with its Happy Match ability. As you can see, there's Marnie, there's Professor's Research, there's Boss's Orders, all in the deck. So Boss's Orders is probably the most critical one that you'll be using Eldegoss V to grab from the discard pile. And then finishing off the Pokemon with one copy of Crobat V. For that Dark Asset ability, if you don't want to discard your entire hand of the Dene, you got Dark Asset to use. You can also use Dark Asset and Dene Change in the same turn if you're wanting to draw a lot of cards. Alright, trainer cards. Let's go ahead and kick it off with the Stadium in the deck. One copy of Chaotic Swell. I've been doing this with a lot of the decks I've built personally. One copy of Chaotic Swell. Sometimes there's not just a great Stadium to go perfectly with your deck, and so it doesn't hurt to play one copy of Chaotic Swell. Sometimes Path to Defeat can really get in your way, especially with this Mewtwo and Mew. Shut Off Perfection and Data Change and Crobat V, Eldegoss, all of that stuff. So it definitely doesn't hurt to have that single copy of Chaotic Swell in the deck. Next, we have the supporters. So Professor's Research, 3 copies, discard hand, draw 7, definitely a staple in the format. 4 copies of Marnie, so shuffle your hand to your deck, draw 5, and then your opponent shuffles their hand to your deck, draws 4. Great way to draw some cards, refresh your hand, but also disrupt your opponent's hand size. And 3 copies of Boss's Orders, pretty crucial for setting up knockouts with this Tagwool GX. You definitely want to have Boss's Orders in there and in any deck. Pokemon Tool cards, you've got 2 copies of Air Balloon. So it's a great, I believe that it provides, yes, it provides free retreat for any Pokemon in this deck except for Vikavolt V and Pikachu and Zekrom GX, which good thing is Pikachu and Zekrom GX will usually be in the discard pile, just be copying the attacks of Pikachu and Zekrom GX with Mewtwo and Mew, so you don't necessarily need Air Balloon on there. And then regular item cards, you've got 2 copies of Cherish Ball. This is one that's usually seen in the Mewtwo and VGX decks because it makes for a pretty solid engine that works well with that perfection ability. So 2 copies of that in there. You've also got 2 copies of Electromagnetic Radar. So this allows you to discard some cards for Mewtwo and Mew and find some of those Lightning Pokemon GX if it's Dedenne or Pikachu, Zekrom, Raichu, or Raichu. You know what I mean. 4 copies of Crushing Hammer for more disruption to discard that energy. Sometimes this deck is a little slow setting up if you don't get the right cards. So Crushing Hammer can help slow your opponent down. 3 copies of Energy Switch. I found this is a very crucial card for lightning type decks, especially Pikachu and Zekrom, to be able to move some of that energy around because Full Blitz only does what you attach to one of your Pokemon. So if you put a little extra energy on there, you can move it around. 4 copies of Quick Ball, another great card to work with perfection and find those basic Pokemon. 4 copies of Switch, always a great card to have, and especially with this Tandem Shock attack, you want some Switch in there. And 2 copies of Reset Stamp for more disruption. So that's the deck overall. I have won several games with this deck already, so let's go ahead and hop into Versus and see if we can pull off yet another win. Okay, Marnie deck box, can't tell anything quite yet. Marnie coin, everybody uses the Marnie stuff, wish I had it. Alright, we get to call the coin flip, that's cool. Hey, I won! Would I like to go first? No, I'm gonna go second. I like second with this deck. There's a Bolt and Start, not bad, don't hate it. Alright. And it's Remoraid. Okay, I'm guessing Urshifu or some other Rapid Strike deck. Maybe Urshifu and Teleon. Hoppip. Okay, I get some other sort of Rapid Strike deck. This will be interesting. Definitely see a Rapid Strike theme going on here. Oh yeah, so it's like a Hoppip deck. I haven't seen this in action. This is from Evolving Skies, so this will be cool to see. Also seems weak, so maybe we can beat it. Yeah. Alright, let's speed energy on the Bolton. Start that off. Going to Quick Ball Raichu. We shall grab a Mew Mew. Or no, let's grab Pikachu. And then I will Quick Ball Pikachu for a Tapu Koko. Yes. That is what I will do. I'll grab Tapu Koko. We will play that onto the bench. I will Cherish Ball for a Mew. Throwing away 2 Energy Switch. Hopefully that won't affect us later. Or actually, we'll be playing Marnie, so we won't be doing stuff away. We'll throw it down to Bolton. We will Marnie. Pretty good hand, or start so far. Alright, got some white energy, that's good. Just need a way to discard it. And then we will electrify here. Grab some white energy from the deck. Throw it on to Mewtwo and Mew. Alrighty. Cool. Just chilling. And yeah, we'll be able to start dishing out some damage next turn. So, things are looking good so far. Looking very good. Squirrels. Ooh, this is a new one. Is this from Evolving Skies? I think it is. Battle Styles. Matches Maelstrom. Okay. Interesting. Don't think I've seen that one before. At least not very often. There's a Crobat. Goes down to bench. Dark Asset. Draw some cards. Evo Incense. Probably gonna go for the Skiploom, which I believe the Skiploom, yes, has the ability. So he'll be able to go straight to the Pokemon evolves from this. Yeah, Solar Evolution. That's cool. What's this? Jump off. Interesting. So he can basically, wow, so he can use Swirls twice. Okay, cool. Very cool. Heads. I don't know why I did that, because I could go after that. They ain't anyway. Yeah, so we'll boss up this, because that's threat. Not that's gonna do a ton of damage. And there's a concession! Well, my plan was to full blitz, and then we would go for the tag bolt and just go nuts. Alright, cool. We won with 0 damage dealt. I'll take it. A win is a win. Alright, that was pretty awesome. Well, thank you guys for checking out today's video and watching it. Make sure to give a thumbs up if you enjoyed the deck and gameplay. Pikachu and Zekrom is one of my favorite cards. Really enjoyed talking about this deck, and I enjoyed talking about a deck that has won a tournament and won the Players Cup 2, piloted expertly by Zack Lesage. I know he has a channel, so if you want to go check that out, you can. You can also go check out Players Cup 2 gameplay on the official Pokemon channel if you want to see this deck in action more. Make sure to comment on the video and let me know what you thought. If there's any changes to the deck that you would make, I'd love to hear. And make sure to subscribe, it's super helpful for the channel. And also, I just gotta point out that my dad just hit 100 subscribers and he does sports cards. You guys, your Pokemon fans, just gonna let that happen? So make sure you hit the subscribe button. We won't get beat by the sports cards guy. Alright, that's the end of today's video. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.